Hello everyone, I am Muhammad Razziq bin Abdul, a student from BML60C Ex-DMTM, and today I will be presenting regarding the role of Paris Agreement in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, which is in line with the assignment of for the subject BML3824 Maritime Transportation Law. Alright, these are the contents of discussion where we will go through one by one after this. But first of all, I will be explaining about the assignment question. So the assignment question is about the to discuss the role and also the limitations of Paris Agreement in driving climate change mitigation, as well as to identify what are the shipping related climate impacts and also its non-climate marine pollution, as well as to know what are the effects on ocean health. And the country that have been chosen is Trinidad and Tobago. Right. So first of all, the introduction to this country, which is Trinidad and Tobago. It is an archipelagic small island developing states (SIDS) located in the southern Caribbean Sea, where it consists of two main islands, namely Trinidad, the larger one, and also Tobago, smaller one, along with the other 21 islands, which cover up a total of 5,128 kilometers square, where the capital of this country is Port of Spain, which there is also Port of Spain as the major maritime hub for Trinidad and Tobago. And this country is economy and population which is heavily coastal and sea reliant. In terms of its maritime dependency, there are three key industries that are focused for this country, which are petroleum and natural gas, offshore drilling and liquefied natural gas exports, and also the agriculture and also tourism sector that function as the secondary contributors. However, this country is highly vulnerable to the climate change due to its geography and also coastal population. And Trinidad and Tobago, which we can also call TNT, the economy truly relies on maritime transport for trade and resources, since it is located in the Caribbean Sea. And this is the map of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean Sea, which we can see that there is also Panama, where the Panama Canal located to connect the Pacific Oceans and also Atlantic Oceans. And this is the shipping routes where Trinidad and Tobago can be considered as one of the busiest transits among other Caribbean community, CARICOM, where according to the traffic density, it shows that uh, the green color represent the traffic density, where based on the previous photo image, Trinidad Tobago, located just southeast of the map, uh, in line with this traffic density map, where Trinidad Tobago is the most green colored, showing that the busy routes that passing by all vessels. And Port of Spain and Port of Point Lisas uh, play the roles as the major maritime hub for multipurpose port and also liquid bulk terminal respectively. So that is why Trinidad Tobago can be is considered as the one of the busiest country in the Caribbean Sea. Now, in terms of the ratification of Paris Agreement, by Trinidad and Tobago. In April 2016, TNT has joined other 174 countries under the Paris Agreement, which took place at the United Nations headquarters located in New York. This ratification was represented by the Senator, the Honorable Denis Moses, the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, which at the same time the country is striving to attain the vision of the aim of Vision 2030, which is a long-term development policy, while also have been discussed or presented regarding the nation's effort by committing to the nationally determined contribution (NDC). And fast forward to February 2018, the Honorable Camille Robinson Regis, the Minister of Planning and Development of Trinidad and Tobago, has represented to deposit its instrument of ratification, where TNT has confirmed its intended nationally determined contribution to officially become the nationally determined contribution through full commitment in reducing the emissions. So, in these two dates, it shows that TNT has commenced its commitment to adhere with the Article 2 and also Article 4 of the Paris Agreement. And this is the image of the ratification moment by the Senator, the Honorable Denis Moses. Moving on to the next point of discussion, where the role of Paris Agreement generally of among all of the articles, Article 2 and 4 best suits in terms of this assignment question, where Article 2 is regarding aims, objective, and principles of the Paris Agreement. There are four core provisions um, have been allocated in this article, where the first one is in terms of temperature target, where the agreement aims to achieve global temperature goals of below 2 degrees Celsius. For provision 2 is in terms of adaptation, where this agreement promotes adaptive capacity, climate resilient efforts, and also low greenhouse gas or GHG development. Whereas for core provision 3, in terms of finance, the agreement allocated direct finance flows um, for particularly for climate pathways. And finally, provision 4 is in terms of differentiation, where the disagreement is discussed on the equity as well as the common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities (CBDRRC), which will be explained on the aspects of Trinidad and Tobago later. And for Article 4, it is in terms of mitigation efforts in order to achieve the temperature goals that have been just discussed. In this article, it requires all parties or all parties of the agreement to submit and update their nationally determined contributions and disease, where at the same time it aims in attaining the core provision 1, which is temperature target, which is to reduce the overall emissions below 2 degrees Celsius. Global emissions peak and reach net zero carbon is also aimed by the second half of the century, which is in between 2050 until 2100. This agreement also discussed on a 5-year update cycle of the member states NDCs, where it is to ensure the transparency, accurate reporting, and also national accountability in order to achieve the core provision 1. And this is the specific discussion of the role of Paris Agreement in Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. In terms of Article 2, there is development of GHG monitoring, reporting, and also verification (MRV) system, uh, which is in line with the establishment of discussion of Article 13 of the Paris Agreement, where it supports the transparency of emission tracking, as well as to provide evidence-based policy making. At the same time, it also aid in development of a national GHG inventory, where to ensure its consistency and also cross-sectoral reporting. MRV system also can track the NDC's progression, which encourages climate resilient infrastructures and also sustainable development or investment. This provides the framework to subsequently improve the overall port emissions, to utilize energy transition, and also to enhance climate planning, which is according to the enhancements of interagency cooperation, which is in between the Caribbean Community or CARICOM. This article that specifically apply in Trinidad and Tobago also has strengthened the national capacity building, which is specifically in terms of technical skills in the climate government governance. And lastly, it definitely improves the overall TNT's credibility and also accountability in the climate commitments, which is the ratification of Paris Agreement to reduce the overall emissions by second half of this century. Whereas the application of Article 4 mitigation of the Paris Agreement by TNT is basically discussing about the establishment of a global mitigation framework, where TNT has put in efforts on the peaking emissions in order to achieve the overall net zero carbon initiative provided by the Paris Agreement. Uh, so, in order to achieve that, TNT have to regularly prepare updates and also communicate nationally determined contributions through continuous mitigation to reduce the emission, of course. And for the common CBDRRC, common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities, it means that developed countries should lead the way, while developing nations like Trinidad and Tobago should scale up the decarbonization efforts. Where this article also applies in the TNT, Trinidad and Tobago, to promote equity, which allows this nation to design all the important or relevant mitigation measures, specifically according to the country's circumstances, such as TNT's economic structure, development, and also limited resources. This article is then shows its clarity and transparency, specifically in the nationally determined contribution drafting and also reporting, where accurate emissions monitoring progress will take place. And overall, this definitely provides the flexibility for Trinidad and Tobago in adopting with its own mitigation pathways, merely to achieve the four core provisions under the Article 2 of the Paris Agreement. And they are all for the role of Paris Agreement in Trinidad and Tobago. Will be proceed with the shipping related climate impacts. There are several. Uh, we'll be moving on one by one. The first one is in terms of greenhouse gas (GHG) emissions. The main GHG emissions studied or collected by the studies, which specifically released from ships in the Caribbean Sea, are the gas of carbon dioxide, methane, the nitrogen oxide, and also particulate matter. These high emissions in relationship with the reliance on the utilization of fossil fuels, which definitely shows a weak enforcement in terms of the practice of alternative fuels, um, specifically in the Caribbean community itself, which is including Trinidad and Tobago. Uh, this is because alternative fuels um, currently widely used, or we can say as a trend in the maritime industry, merely to reduce the overall emissions. So it shows that a weak enforcement by the authority or Trinidad and Tobago governance to adhere with the core provision one. Number two, freight rate and trade oscillations. The Caribbean SIDS approximately experienced loss of 9% of its maritime connectivity, showing there is inconsistent freight rates. For example, Port of Spain experienced its efficiency gaps, which definitely raised more operational costs for the port itself to cater in terms of the maritime or the industry competitiveness. And the third one is warmer temperatures and sea level rise. Rising temperatures definitely impact the secondary contributors, which are the agricultural and also tourism sectors, where local farmers face difficulty in predicting seasonal patterns. um, this uh, is supported by the data collected by Food and Agricultural Organization (FAO), where this organization has confirmed that it definitely affects the overall crop yields activity by the local farmers. So through this impact, it definitely alters the overall marine ecosystems, which significantly can be in relationship with the ocean acidification factor. And this is the rainfall pattern for both Trinidad and Tobago. And for the right figure, it shows that the average absolute sea level rise was recorded with 6.15 millimeter per year, according to the studies between 2004 until 2019. The next impact is ocean acidification. Since the commencement of industrial revolution, the oceans has absorbed a total of 28% of the global carbon dioxide. In the Caribbean region alone, pH value has dropped by zero point 0.1 units, which shows a rise of 26% its acidity rate. And according to the study, future projection or forecast of this acidity has shown that a 20% more acidic by the year 2050 and 58% more acidic by the year 2100, which definitely shows the threat for the marine ecosystem as a whole. And finally, for the shipping related climate impact is in terms of extreme weather. TNT lies just south on the main hurricane belt. However, it still have the potential threat of heavy rainfall, flood, tropical storm surge, and also sea level rise. This has shown potential risk to coastal communities and also port infrastructure. While for non-climate marine pollution, the first one is the plastic waste and coastal littering, where the table shows a total of 44% of food organic waste were recorded in the wider Caribbean region, and specifically in Trinidad and Tobago, 44 foam containers per kilometer was recorded, where a total of 700,000 tons of plastic waste was collected. The next one is oil spills. Caribbean Sea is considered as one of the major global oil transport zones, specifically for Trinidad and Tobago, which is according to the shipping routes, the density map just now, where it connects Pacific Oceans and also Atlantic Oceans through Panama Canal, which is located in the Caribbean Sea. So the studies show an approximate of 70 million tons were transported annually, where in the Caribbean Sea alone, um, there is record of two, 250 oil spills, major spills and also minor spills per year, where it shows 83% of the Caribbean waters were definitely at risk from the spills. And finally, the noise pollution. Noises from ships, engines, propeller movement, sound navigation and ranging, sonar technology, and also the overall shipping traffic has definitely caused the underwater vibration, uh, where significantly disrupt the marine mammals and also the coral ecosystems, which resulting in the overall reef degradation and also the decline in mangrove forest ecosystem. This pollution has consequently reduced the tourism appeal, right, and also fisheries productivity as the secondary contributors. And this all marine pollutions definitely threatens TNT's economy and also its reputation as the one of the global maritime hub. And as for the implications on ocean health, in terms of shipping-related climate impacts, for the sea level rise and coastal erosion, it threatens port infrastructure, coastal community, and also tourism economy. And for ocean warming and heat waves, uh, there is an event of coral decline, mangrove loss. As for the ocean acidification, it weakens calcifying organisms and reef systems. Whereas for non-climate marine pollution, in terms of plastics and marine litter, it definitely harms the coastal habitats, which also affects the tourism industry generally. While for oil spills, the event of fish death, beach closures, and also economic loss will be experienced by Trinidad and Tobago. As for the conclusion, to conclude this assignment, the Paris Agreement do help in guiding the national climate actions through the several initiative or several actions to achieve the four core provisions. At the same time, Trinidad and Tobago should emphasize in improving the port resilience, to tighten its marine environmental legislation, to enhance ecosystem protection, to regularly conduct emissions monitoring through the implementation of MRV system, while also to widening its regional cooperation between the Caribbean Community CARICOM, and finally to strive in accessing to the climate financing, which is through Green Climate Fund. So in short, the ratification and alignment of the Paris Agreement require continual updating of the national policies merely to successfully attain the agreement's core provisions, uh, which is along with the National Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). And that is all from me. If you guys have any questions, just drop it below and I will answer it. Thank you.